There is a moment, quiet and almost invisible, when something inside you fractures. Not loudly, not violently, just a thin crack forming in the dark space behind your ribs, like the first sign that a life lived on delay has finally reached its limit. You don't notice it at first. You keep moving, keep distracting yourself, keep pretending that time bends around your excuses. But it doesn't, and slowly, dangerously, you begin to feel the truth. You've been postponing your own life, the conversations you should have had, the boundaries you should have drawn, the dignity you should have protected, the dreams you kept locked away because fear whispered louder than desire. You've delayed everything that mattered, thinking you had more time, thinking later was guaranteed. But later is a fragile fantasy. Later is a lie the mind tells to avoid responsibility. And tonight, somewhere deep inside you, the lie collapses. A cold whisper rises from a place you've ignored for years. Stop postponing your life before it's too late. This is where Seneca's warning returns, not as philosophy, but as a haunting presence. Prepare your mind as if you've already reached the end. Leave nothing for tomorrow. Close the accounts of your life each day. It isn't a threat. It's a mirror. A brutal, honest mirror that forces you to see yourself without the defense mechanisms you've spent a lifetime building. Because when you imagine the end, you stop lying. You stop delaying. You stop running. You finally face who you've become. Caleb steps into a world shaped by that truth. A massive underground cistern, forgotten by the city above, where tall pillars rise like broken teeth from water black and still. A faint blue light leaks from vents overhead, trembling across the surface in thin, trembling streaks. Every echo, every drop, every shadow feels like a reminder of the seconds slipping from your hands. This place is a tomb built for someone still alive, and tonight that someone is you. Caleb stands knee-deep, staring at his trembling reflection. It looks like him, but not exactly. The water shows something else, the man he could have been if he hadn't wasted so many days on fear, noise, and hesitation. And the weight of that realization falls over him like cold stone. You know this feeling, the shame of avoidance, the regret of silence, the heartbreak of realizing that the life you wanted didn't disappear. You postponed it until it suffocated. You've delayed honest conversations, saved your courage for a better moment, carried resentment like stones in your pockets, pretending they didn't drag you down. But imagine being told that this is the final day, the last chance, the closing of your life's book. Excuses collapse instantly. Pretending becomes impossible. All that remains is truth. Caleb breathes deeply, as if inhaling all the unfinished business he's avoided. And the question echoes inside you too. What would you face if today truly was the end? Think of that boundary you never set, that apology you held hostage behind pride, that dream you buried beneath anxiety. Think of how many times you betrayed yourself just to avoid discomfort. You believed you had more time, but time leaks. Time evaporates. Here in the cold underground chamber, Caleb wipes the water from his face like a man preparing for a final confession, one not spoken to the world, but whispered directly into his own soul. If this were your final day, who would you stop chasing? What habits would you release? Which wounds would you stop protecting? Which part of you would you finally choose to honor? Caleb closes his eyes as dust falls from above, the world overhead unaware of his ritual of truth. And in that moment, you see it too. Clarity is not gentle. Clarity is the death of denial. The water trembles. The chamber grows heavier, as if holding the weight of every unfinished chapter of your life. Light flickers, shadows stretch, and the truth becomes impossible to escape. The wounds you refuse to examine become the wounds that quietly run your life. Caleb touches a stone pillar scarred by time, feeling its roughness like the texture of old memories. Dripping water sounds like footsteps from the past approaching. He knows this sensation, the accumulation of emotional debts he never paid. Think of the moment someone disrespected you and you pretended not to care. Think of how silence became your prison. You smiled, acted indifferent, but inside something cracked. You moved on with a wound you didn't acknowledge. And wounds ignored become identities lived. Regret always begins as emotional neglect. And tonight, the underground chamber demands that you stop ignoring what hurts. Caleb whispers, "I see you," speaking to the pain he spent years abandoning. Because when you pretend the end has arrived, you stop lying to yourself. No more decoration, no more denial. Only the inventory of your soul. What resentment poisons your mornings? What fear delays your future? What truth have you refused to confront? The room listens, silent and merciless. The water ripples, responding like a living thing. The cistern seems to count its own cracks, a reflection of your internal fractures. You're not weak for hurting. You're only weak when you refuse to look at the hurt. Caleb closes his fist, water sliding down his arm like time slipping away. The question rises from the darkness. What pain have you carried for so long that you don't even question it anymore? The air shifts. A cold wind moves through the vents, stirring the water into wide circles. The entire chamber feels alive, responding to Caleb's thoughts. This is what happens when you confront the truth of your postponement. Your illusions shake. Your excuses lose ground. Your heart begins to wake. Caleb walks deeper, the water resisting each step like the past, trying to pull him back. Above him, a broken beam of blue light reveals invisible stacks piled around him, the symbolic weight of everything postponed, conversations avoided, dreams minimized, promises abandoned. You carry the same weight. That project you never began, that version of yourself you swore you'd become, that boundary you kept promising to set next month. But life doesn't wait. Life dissolves. And the cost of postponing your life is the person you never become. Caleb remembers every night he whispered, "Tomorrow." But tomorrow came empty, unused, wasted. The truth is brutal. Regret is nothing more than postponed action. And in the silence of the chamber, the lesson becomes sharp. Most suffering begins with hesitation, a quiet moment of choosing comfort over courage. And every time you choose comfort, you amputate a small part of your future. A drop hits the surface louder than all the others. Caleb looks up. The message is clear. You know exactly what you're avoiding. You know exactly what truth you're circling but never entering. If today were the end, you'd act, you'd speak, you'd begin. The chamber whispers one chilling sentence. What you postpone becomes the cage you die in. The vents dim. Light narrows into thin silver threads slicing through the dark. The water grows still. This is the part of the lesson most fear, the courage to release what no longer fits. Caleb raises his hands out of the water, droplets falling like tiny dying stars. He watches them disappear into the darkness and realizes he has carried too many old versions of himself, too many identities built on fear, too many stories that were never true. Think of your own attachments, the people you've outgrown but keep entertaining, the grudges you nurture because they give you a sense of control, the mistakes you replay because shame has become familiar. You cling to these things because letting go feels dangerous, but the danger is in holding on. That's what suffocates you. That's what kills your evolution. Caleb touches a central pillar coated with mineral layers formed over decades, like emotional layers around your spirit. The stone is brittle, ready to break. He understands that nothing is meant to last unchanged. Pain transforms or it imprisons. Identity expands or it decays. The chains you refuse to drop become the architecture of your suffering. Letting go requires more courage than holding on. Holding on is passive. Letting go is a declaration of self-respect, choosing your peace over your history, choosing your future over your familiarity. Caleb inhales, the room trembling gently, shedding dust like an old memory dissolving. Liberation isn't loud. Liberation is quiet honesty. If today were truly the last day, you wouldn't hesitate. You'd release those who shrink you. You'd forgive yourself for the years wasted. You'd drop the weight you carry in silence. The water glows faintly around Caleb's body as the chamber asks, if life ended tonight, what would you finally stop dragging behind you? A strange quiet fills the chamber. Dripping softens. The air thickens with truth. Caleb stands still, his reflection distorted, showing not the man he thinks he is, but the man shaped by avoidance. He whispers his own name, acknowledging the self he abandoned. This is the conversation most people never have, the conversation with the self they betrayed, with the truth they avoided, with the dreams they postponed into oblivion. Caleb closes his eyes and images flash, paths he didn't take, words he never spoke, boundaries he surrendered. Each image presses on his chest like a cold hand. He has nowhere left to run. Down here in this submerged cathedral of echoes, everything artificial falls away. No persona, no defense, just truth. You've spent your life explaining yourself to others, defending yourself, justifying your choices. But when have you sat with yourself and spoken honestly? If this were your final night, you'd ask the real questions. Why did you disrespect your own worth? Why did you accept so little? Why did fear dictate the shape of your life? Caleb opens his eyes. The chamber looks the same, yet transformed. The darkness feels cleaner, more honest. Something inside him shifts, like a lock turning in a door he forgot existed. The water pulls subtly toward the center, as if guiding him into the core of his own transformation. Facing the end makes you see every negotiation you made with your dignity, every discount you offered on your soul, every moment you traded authenticity for acceptance. But in the final reckoning, none of that matters. Only one question remains. Did you honor yourself? Caleb steps deeper into the center of the chamber. The water glows with a faint light, recognizing the shift in his presence. He places his hand over his chest, feeling a slow, steady heartbeat, his last link to the truth he has avoided. And now, having confronted everything he escaped, he knows what must come next. So do you. If today were your final moment, what truth would you finally speak to yourself? A subtle vibration moves through the stone. The water stirs. The blue light grows warmer, turning into a soft silver glow. Something is changing, not outside, but within. This is the paradox the Stoics understood. When you accept the end, you uncover the beginning hidden beneath it. Caleb feels the shift in his body. His breath deepens. His shoulders unclench. For the first time, he doesn't feel like a man preparing to die. He feels like a man preparing to live. The cistern no longer feels like a tomb. It feels like a womb, birthing a new version of him out of the darkness. Accepting the end removes distractions. Petty arguments evaporate. Fake obligations turn to dust. People who drained you disappear into irrelevance. And those who truly matter glow like constellations. You stop negotiating with your own potential. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop shrinking. Caleb places his hand on the pillar. It feels warm now, alive, humming with everything he has faced. Endings don't destroy you. They reveal you. They strip away illusions and leave only the essential self you abandoned for comfort. Think of your life. How often have you clung to what was killing you because you feared emptiness? How often have you stayed small because growth felt like dying? If this were your last day, would you still apologize for your existence? Or would you rise? A warm current wraps around Caleb's torso. He closes his eyes and breathes deeply, like a newborn tasting air for the first time. The darkness doesn't choke him anymore. It holds him. It shows him what he's capable of when there are no lies left to hide behind. Rebirth doesn't happen in sunlight. It happens in the depths, in silence, in the raw honesty of confronting who you are without filters. Pretending today is the final day forces you into a decision. Continue living the old story or finally step into the one you were meant to live. The chamber hums deeply. Caleb opens his eyes. Something permanent has shifted. He feels lighter, not because the room changed, but because he changed. The water glows softly around him, rippling outward as if blessing the transformation. The truth becomes undeniable. The end you fear is the beginning you keep avoiding. The light softens to silver, reflecting across the water in trembling ribbons. The pillars no longer appear broken, but ancient, patient, watching him with quiet approval. Caleb looks upward toward slivers of sky, filtering through the vents. Though buried deep underground, he feels closer to the surface than ever before, as if accepting the end earned him the right to rise. The darkness around him feels like a cocoon cracking open, releasing him into a version of life he has never touched. Think of how many days you've wasted rehearsing your fears, How many times you've whispered tomorrow? If tomorrow didn't exist, how different would your actions be? Caleb steps fully into the center, warm currents surrounding him. He breathes deeply, not with desperation, but with presence. No guilt, no fear, no delay, just existence, raw and unfiltered. Life doesn't begin when conditions are perfect. Life begins the moment you stop postponing yourself, when you stop betraying your own potential, when you whisper inside your bones, "I refuse to waste any more time." The cistern seems brighter, not because the light changed, but because he did. Caleb rises from the glowing water, each drop falling from his body like the remnants of an old identity dissolving. No applause, no audience, just a man reclaiming his life in silence. And the truth settles over him with the weight of destiny. The person who lives each day as if it were the last is the only person who truly lives. The water falls silent. The pillars stand still. The chamber breathes with him. And in the lingering echo of stillness, a final question emerges from the dark. If today is the end, why not let today also be the beginning? The echoes fade. The water calms. Caleb's reflection returns, but transformed, sharper, more awake, more honest than ever before. This was never about death. It was about waking up, about seeing how much of your life you've postponed, how many dreams you've buried, how many boundaries you abandoned. Seneca's lesson is not poetic. It's a command carved into the bones of time. Close the accounts of your life each day, not to frighten you, to free you. Postponing your life is a slow, silent form of self-abandonment. It ends when you choose presence over fear, action over delay, truth over comfort. The person who confronts the end is the only person who truly begins. And if tomorrow isn't promised, then today is the only day you have to become who you were meant to be. If something in this journey spoke to you, don't rush, don't force. Just let it settle. And when you feel ready, quietly, without pressure, continue walking. There's another message waiting for you, deeper and darker, guiding you further into the strength you have always carried. Watch the next one when your soul whispers that it's time.